Hi, welcome behind the scenes. I'm Nathan's mom, and today we're going to build a cake from leftover cake scraps. I made my oldest son a booze cake. I'm going to upload that cake in a few days. But when I was making it, I had to cut a hole in the middle, and I used a little heart-shaped cookie cutter to make that hole. And so what this did was it gave me 4 extra layers of cake that I just turned into a couple of little cakes since we were coming up on Valentine's Day. So what you're about to see is a tutorial for one of the cakes. I've been wanting to make a mirror cake for so long. I don't know if you've been seeing them online, but I've been seeing them online for like probably the last 2 years. They're so beautiful. They shine, they look amazing, but I also figured they would be super duper hard. But I finally thought, well, I'm just using cake scraps, so it's not very big. If something goes wrong, I'm not going to be too sad about the cake. I had nobody waiting for the cake, so I might as well just go ahead and do it. It turns out that it was actually the easiest cake probably that I've ever made. Like, it's even easier than decorating a cake with just buttercream. I mean, it's probably easier than taking a 9x13, leaving it in the pan, and just smearing frosting on the top. It's that easy. So I'm going to show you how I made it. Even the tutorial is going to be very short because it was that simple. Now, I did find the actual recipe on another YouTuber's page. I'm going to link you down below to how she made it. I made it a little bit differently. First of all, I just cut the recipe way down because I was making a little tiny batch. And then the second thing that I did that's just different is that I put it in a double broiler. This is because I didn't want it to burn. You know, she's like, oh yeah, just wait until it starts to boil and then stir in the chocolate, which I'm sure works for people with an attention span. But unfortunately, I don't really have one of those, and so my problem is I'll put something on like that and then I walk away and it burns almost every single time. So what I did is I put it on a double broiler. That way there's a little bit more room for mistakes. I was able to walk away from it a little bit while it was cooking, and it still turned out fabulous. So anyway, please take a look and enjoy the video. Don't think you're gonna miss me stacking these cakes and magically frosting them. Here I am adding some gelatin to water. This time it's not quite so magical. I'm going to stir this up until it's kind of the consistency of gummy bears that are gritty. Which doesn't sound very appetizing, but that's exactly what it looked like to me. I'm going to show you here in a second. Voila. It's kind of gross looking. And you take a separate bowl, add your water, sugar. Notice the double pour. Pretty tricky of me, I think. And then we have condensed milk, which takes forever to come out. This is where you're supposed to put it directly on the stove, but I put it in my handy dandy homemade double broiler. This is again because I don't want the chocolate to burn. She said to boil the mixture. I actually just wait till the water underneath's boiling, and then you put in the gelatin. The gelatin's very yellow and thick looking. You can kind of see it there in the picture. It looks very unappetizing, but if you keep stirring, it disappears and it looks like this. Then it's time to add your white chocolate chips, and you're going to stir them in, and they're going to look very smooth as well. Every single one of the recipes that I've seen for this cake tells you at some point to use a sieve to strain out this chocolate, because sometimes there are little chunks of chocolate or other things, and that's going to ruin your mirror glaze, right? So of course I made myself a list, emailed it to myself so that I could see it on my phone, and went to the store. I did not have a sieve, so I was going to buy one so that I could make this. I got to the store, I realized that I had left my phone at home with my list on it, and despite the fact that the sieve was what made me start going to the store in the first place, I completely forgot about it, and I did not get a sieve. And then, because Nathan is one of these people who, if you get him to the store once, good for you, but you're not going to get him there a second time. So I basically had to improvise. So I thought I'd share this with you because I'm sure I'm not the only person on the planet without a sieve in their kitchen. So this is what I did. I have just a regular strainer. I don't know if you can actually see. There we go. You know, for like pasta and stuff. And then I have this, which is also for pasta. Clearly I'm looking for a pasta solution, but anyway, this is, you know, you just put it on the edge of your pan and you drain it out and it holds the pasta in so it doesn't fall everywhere. what I did was I actually put this strainer on top of this strainer, and I turned it a little bit so that they weren't facing the same way. And what that allowed me to do was to strain it anyway. I mean, I'm sure it could have probably been a finer strain still if I'd had a sieve, but I think it worked just fine. I didn't see any lumps in my mirror glaze. So anyway, just a little idea if you too need a strainer for something and you don't happen to have it.
Once your glaze is all sieved up, you can add food coloring to it. I chose to add 3 separate colors. By the way, you can use any kind of food coloring for this. I used both gel and liquid food coloring and all of it worked just fine. You blend the colors together like this. Mine ends up looking kind of like a target, but that gives you that neat marbly effect when you pour it over the cake. It's actually a lot of fun to do. It doesn't just look pretty, it's really very entertaining as well, but maybe I'm easily entertained.
Okay, this is another place where I totally improvised. Every cake decorating thing that I watched or recipe I read said, oh, get out a smaller pan and use that to hold your cake while you're drizzling the glaze over the top. Well, the problem for me was that since I used this little tiny cookie cutter, I really don't have a pan that's this big. I'm sure if you're maybe a baker or something, maybe you have a standalone cupcake. Is that even a thing, a standalone cupcake pan? But I didn't have something small enough to do that. So I have this little, again, grater that came with a bowl set that I have. And I just put this on top of a smaller cookie cutter and I sat my little cake on top of that before I poured the glaze on. It worked. Might not be elegant, but it did work. So again, just another tip if you need some way of doing that and this other stuff doesn't work for you.
So before you glaze your cake, you just want to make sure it's frozen. This cake in the picture is frozen solid. Also, she recommends doing this, going around the edges on the outside and then going into the middle. For me, I think it actually would have worked better if I started in the middle and worked my way out. I guess it's just a personal preference thing, but it really doesn't matter either way because the glaze stays very liquidy and very easy to work with for a long time. And I really mean a long time. I'm going to say like half an hour. And I even stuck it in the fridge for a while, so I think, you're safe no matter how you choose to do it. It misses a few places, as you can see. I just would pick up the cake and add a little additional glaze. I think that's because when I tried to eat out the side of the cake, I probably got a little overzealous and I made the lower tier a little bit narrowed in. Also, if you aren't familiar with doing a crumb coat or trying to make frosting very smooth, like you kind of have to do beneath this mirror glazed layer, watch my other video where I also made hearts. I go over kind of how to do the crumb coating there. And keep in mind, I am far from professional, so if I can do this, you can do it too. It's actually very easy once you know some of the tricks behind it. But this, you're just pouring the glaze over the cake, and that's it. It comes out beautiful. I really loved the way it looked, and I was really proud of this.
That was it. Can you believe how easy that was to make? I couldn't. I probably could have start to finish, besides the part where you actually freeze the cake, I could have been done in like less than half an hour, which to me, when I'm trying to decorate a cake, that's really shocking. So I highly recommend this cake. People are going to be blown away if you take it somewhere. As long as you don't use really dark food coloring in the glaze is really good. I may or may not have eaten the leftover glaze that was in the pan when I was done. But yeah, it's super easy, so give it a try. Thanks for watching. This has been another exciting episode of Behind the Scenes. And I will see you soon. Oh, and like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.